Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Building a Nation with Team Canada, where today we return to the international stage, where Team Canada is going to prepare for the 2022 World Cup by hosting a pair of friendlies against some pretty good international competition. Now, our first friendly today will be against Venezuela, a very good side from South America. They are in the World Cup. They qualified. They're in Group F. See what their chances are there. Kind of a tough group, I would say, with Italy, Spain, and South Africa. You know, if we weren't in the group of death, then Venezuela is in the group of death as well, because that's some pretty good competition right there. Now, the one thing about this particular group is that Spain can be flaky and Italy can be flaky. Both of these teams can implode. So we'll see what happens in Group F. We'll see if Venezuela can sneak in there, because they are a pretty solid club. Here's their starters. We take a look at their value, as we always do. Now, they don't have any top-end talent. They're kind of in the same boat that we're in. They don't have anybody in the, 70, 80, $90 million range. They don't even really have anybody over the $10 million range. But you have to keep in mind that, prices are kind of depressed in South America. So, these numbers, if they're playing in their home countries or playing elsewhere in South America, their value is going to be a little bit decreased. Same way it is in MLS. If you're in MLS, your value is not going to be as high as if you're playing in Europe, just because of inflation, just because the market, teams in Europe are just willing to pay more, and that will increase your value. So you can take this value with a little grain of salt, but it gives me a little bit of hope, because they don't have any of those big superstars that we just can't handle. We'll take a closer look at their team a little later. But here they are. Here's their nation. 31 million. That's a pretty good size. That's good enough size to compete. They've got some very, very good key players, namely number one in hearts and minds of MLS fans is definitely Joseph Martinez, one of the top goal scorers in MLS, contracted to Atlanta United. This dude is a handful, especially in open field, especially on the counterattack when he can let his sort of creativity flow. He's a little guy, but don't let that fool you. He's tough. He can score goals. He hasn't quite done great this year. He's only got 4 goals in 18 appearances, but he's got the potential. There's no doubt about that. Our head coach, Rafael Dudamel, Venezuelan, also very, very good head coach. Man management, discipline, motivating. He's the kind of guy who can, stand at the head of an organization and tell people what to do and where to go. He's also got some decent technical skills. He's very good working with youngsters. As shown here, he's got a lot of time coaching in the youth ranks. He was the 18 and under coach for Venezuela. He was the 20 and under coach. He coached on the club level. And now he is the main man since 2016. So this is his team. This is his club. He's got them to the World Cup, and now he's trying to do what we're doing, which is prepare them for the World Cup. Our other friendly, I don't know if we'll have time to show it today, maybe, but maybe not, because I think I want to go to extended highlights just so we can get a feel for what's going on. We're going to play Ireland in the second match, and Ireland is also a very good team. They did not make the World Cup, so they've got to deal with the European International League right now. They're actually playing in the International League right now, so they might come into our friendly a little bit tired. They might rotate their side. Who knows what's going on? But you boys in green are pretty highly ranked. They're ranked 24th in the world. That's pretty good. Venezuela, I don't think we looked at where they were ranked, but they were ranked somewhere in there as well. Let's see if we can find them on this list. There's Venezuela, 27th. So both these teams right there in the mid-range. They're not the top teams in the world, obviously, but they're pretty good. They're higher rated than us. They're higher rated than USA or Jamaica. Now, these world rankings, I don't know what happened. They sort of reset at the beginning of the new year, and it sort of went back to status quo in many ways. Like Mexico jumped up to 14th. Not sure where that happened. USA, Jamaica, they've jumped around a little bit. They used to be one space apart or two spaces apart, but Jamaica's jumped up, USA's moved back. So something happened just recently, like just this week. The ratings changed for the first time all year long. Canada, we remain steady at 51st, which, if you remember, at the end, after the Gold Cup ended and we won the Gold Cup last year, we were up as high as 38th. And so at the beginning of the year, I don't know, the rankings got reset and we dropped back down to 51st, where we've been all year long. So that's sort of the state of affairs in the international world. We're still getting ready for the World Cup. We're still doing some interesting things. So let's get to the matchups today. We got a lot of friendlies going on. Everybody's getting ready. It's a World Cup year, and people don't have time to mess around. USA 1-1 against Slovakia. Slovakia, where are they at these days? I think they're a fairly highly rated team. Let's take a look at their profile. No, they're not. They're 70th, so not a great draw by USA. See if they had Stefan Yedlin, Brooks. They had some youngsters in there. Adams, McKennie, Pulisic, I don't think he counts as a youngster. Way. They highly rotated. There's Keaton Parks, Josh Sargent, Harrison. So USA is getting ready. Hey, Carlton is in there from Atlanta United. He's a good player. He's sort of a sneaky good player. If you play an MLS save with Atlanta United, put this guy in your lineup because he improves and he gets pretty good. And now he's made the national team as a youngster. Kellen Acosta. So USA trying out some youngsters. 1-1 draw versus Slovakia. Let's get to today's matchup versus Venezuela. Now, in a pre-game press conference, they said that some striker for Venezuela had scored like 4 goals against us last time we played. No idea. We haven't played them as far as I know. I can't remember playing a South American team, but perhaps we did. Maybe way back when. I don't know that it's that important to even look. But it doesn't say that we played them here, so we don't really have anything to go on. We are playing at BMO Field. Only 16,000 tickets sold, so nobody's real excited about the friendlies. You'd think in Canada people would be super excited to be going to the World Cup and they would sell out any chance to watch the national team, but I guess not. It is going to be a lovely day, though. Breezy and 78 in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. That's about it. Kickoff. Let's go. So I did some, research this time around, and I've decided that possession is going to be good against Venezuela. I'm not so sure it's going to be good against Ireland, but it is going to be pretty good according to what our scouts said about Venezuela. So we're going to go with the 4-2-3-1. They're kind of vulnerable to this formation. They're kind of vulnerable to possession style, so we'll see what we can do. And yeah, we got, got a lot of interesting things going on here. I think, looking at the health of some of our guys, we got Jonathan David is a little unhealthy. Rocco's a little unhealthy. So I'm going to switch some guys around. We're not going to have a complete starting lineup. Even David is a little unhealthy. Let's see. Faria. Hundle. We're going to have a few reserves here. Cavallini is way tired, so we'll leave him out. We're going to have a little bit of a mix-up. We don't have a full squad anyway. Some guys have been injured. Some guys have been held out because of their teams and whatnot. I'm going to put Hundle, attacking midfielder, attack. See what that does. We'll submit the team and go over them momentarily. Number one guy who's out, of course, is Davies. Again, he just got back from an injury. Not a big injury, a small injury, but I didn't want to call him up. He just got sold to a new club. He's playing at Leverkusen now. He got sold for $52 million, and Vancouver got a piece of that pie. We got I think we originally got $12 million out of that. But, of course, MLS took a chunk of it, the board took a chunk of it, and so on and so on. So we only got like $2.5 million added to our transfer budget. But, the club got some money, and it was just, Davies is the gift that keeps on giving. Anyway, he's not in the lineup today. We got Borjan in goal, of course. Cabra on the left. Broguillard back in the lineup. He's been playing for Vancouver, been playing okay. We got a lot of guys missing, including our right back Tamori. He suffered a massive injury, like a torn hamstring or something, torn quadricep. He tore something earlier in the year, and he might be back soon. He should be back for the World Cup, but for all these friendlies and stuff, we got to go without him. Dunn and Henry in the midfield. Dunn needs more playing time. He doesn't even have a photo. I couldn't find a good photo of him, I guess. So we don't have a photo for him. Piet and Arfield in the midfield. Arfield, you know what? He's still a good player. He's still one of our best midfielders. So we're going to, keep him in there. Brim, been playing outstanding. He got transferred away from Vancouver. He's now playing, where is he playing? He's playing in France, in Dijon. Sent him for $5.25 million, so another big sale for Vancouver. So he's going to be, playing in a much bigger league. Got Sean Hundle. He's now the number one striker in Toronto after an injury to what's his face? I knew I was going to blank on this name. I just saw a highlight of him the other day. You know who I'm talking about. Why can't I remember the name? I'm just blanking. Anyway, Faria also got traded to Toronto FC. He's playing there as well. Not really as much as I'd like him to be playing. He was playing earlier in the year, later in the year, not so much. So he is not having a good time currently in Toronto. And then Liam Miller up top playing for FC Groningen. So he went on a free. Interesting. I wonder if we could pick him up. I don't know. He's on international duty. I don't know that we necessarily need to pick him up, but it's an option. Anyway, that's our starting lineup. Venezuela. Fernez in goal. See if we recognize any of these names. Hernandez. Ronald Hernandez. We really don't know a ton about these guys. We don't scout South America all that much. Otero. Rinson is the captain. Tomas Rinson. He's very good. He's got lots of good attributes. Marking, tackling. Ouch. He's an excellent tackler for a midfielder. He's got a little bit of an injury, though. And then, of course, up top, Martinez. We got to watch out for him. And Jan Hurtado. 6 appearances, 1 goal. Maybe not quite as fearsome as Martinez, but we'll see. We'll see what these guys do. Let's get to the dressing room. Opposition instructions. Let's see. Go out there and show me what you got. There are places up for grabs. There are certainly places up for grabs. Haven't settled on a starting lineup yet. It's too far away to worry about that right now. Okay, there we go. Tunnel talk. Can you talk about your changes today? We need to rotate as a matter of course. There are players who are in need of a rest. Yep. Can we expect attacking focus for you? Sure. Free-flowing. Let's go. BMO Field. Not a full crowd. Maybe not a lot of Venezuelans in the crowd to sort of, fill out the away section. Let's put it that way. But you'd think that we would have sold out. Going to the World Cup for the first time in 100 years. Maybe not 100 years, but pretty close. Pretty close. Rinson. I should have looked that up. When was the last time? I know that I've looked it up before. I know early in the 1900s, we won the Olympics. Like 1901 or whatever. Oh, here we go. Getting forward. Hundle on the run. Can't get there. Henry, though, wins it at midfield. Let's get a good highlight here, boys. We're going to keep possession. Brim diving inside. Harfield out wide to Bro. Our new right back, I forgot to mention. Oro from TFC. Here's Faria, gets it out wide to Broguillard on the overlap. He's going to look to get it in. He crosses it. Piet with the shot off the crossbar. Mago has to send it out. Yeah, so we called up Oro, the Brazilian, playing for TFC. He's been there for 5 years. And, of course, as soon as he gets to training camp, he gets a nagging injury, so he can't play in today's game. Here's Cabra sending one in. Got Faria on the back post. Let's hope he's onside. I don't see the flag man. No flag man at the bottom of the screen. Here he is. Oh, yeah, he looked way onside, completely and totally onside. And we go up early on Venezuela. That's what we're talking about. You know, they just, on paper, they look like a team that, okay, we'll work the ball in the box. On paper, they look like a team we should be able to handle. You know, they got some good players, obviously. They got some very good players, Joseph Martinez on down the line. But nobody that we can't handle. You know, a team like Mexico, they've got 3 Joseph Martinezes. You know, Carlos Vela and that whole crew. Guys who are worth, you know, $60, $70 million. Our value is getting up there. We've got 3 guys now who are over $20 million in value. So that's pretty good. Here's Otero sending one in for Venezuela. They got all kinds of guys. I mean, they looked offside, but I guess not. Because didn't their guy head the ball forward? Velasquez. I think, yeah. I think Broguillard was keeping them onside. So Venezuela ties it up on a set piece. So there's Oro. Injured as soon as he got to camp. He's not the greatest player. But, you know, we need all the right backs we can get, especially with Tomori injured. And he gives us a different look at right back. He could also play right midfield if we need him in a pinch. He's fast. He's Brazilian, so he's got a little bit of that creativity and flair. And he can do some interesting stuff for us. All right. So 1-1. Get to the dressing room. There's a fair mood. Let's see. We need more spirit and fight out there. The fact that it's a friendly shouldn't matter. Let's go. Hundle has been running up and down the field. 4.1 miles covered in the first half. Piet, 100% of his tackles. The Destructor patrolling the midfield. That's what we need. Okay. Venezuela. We are in the Reds today, by the way, in case you forgot. You know, whenever we play a lot of our Central American counterparts, they got a lot of red in their uniforms, so sometimes it's questionable. But here we're at home. It's a friendly. You know we're going to be wearing the Reds. So here we go. Venezuela trying to work the ball down the field themselves. Hurtado to Otero across midfield. Switching field now to Soteldo. He sort of walked right in front of our defense. I would have liked a little bit more aggression there. I think that was from Piet, who sort of sauntered back. They've already made some substitutions. Let's get these guys marked here. They subbed out Villanueva on defense. or they subbed in Villanueva, subbed in Sotelo in the midfield. That's why he was so wide open. Okay. Can't have that. You know, Miller hasn't really got, or Millar hasn't really got into the game at all. I haven't seen a single highlight with him touching the ball. You know, at this rate, we could probably get both games in today. Let's see. It's only been 20 minutes, so yeah, we can probably get both games in. I forgot to switch the highlights out, so that's my bad. But I guess that's fine. We don't need 2 episodes for this. We can deal with it with 1 episode. It'll make the year go faster. It'll let us get to the World Cup faster, and then we can focus on the World Cup and make each game of the World Cup its own thing. Because we honestly don't know how long we're going to last in the World Cup, right? It's like there's no guarantees that we're going to make it out of the group stage. So we got to savor every single game. Here's Otero. Free kick. Oh, great stop from Borjan. You know, he's just our lifeline. Okay, we're going to make a sub or 2 here. Cabra's looking tired. Yeah, so we have some issues at fullback. So we brought up Kundell, 21 years old. Basically, we didn't need him in Vancouver. We needed our other fullbacks in Vancouver because we had some games right before and right after these friendlies. So we can't just send our entire defense out to the national team and not have anybody left. So Kundell was, I mean, he's up to 2.5 stars. Been bouncing around on loan for God knows how many years. But, you know, he is kind of improving. So we'll put him in there. And then Dunn is not playing well. But I think we're going to leave him in there because he needs the match sharpness. Same with Faria. He needs the match sharpness. There's nobody else really that I think we need to get out of there. Didn't really have many people who had 45 minutes, you know, request from their clubs. Here's Hundle with a free kick, and Hundle scores on the free kick. Look at that. Trying to redeem himself. He's a year older, a year wiser. He's, you know, he reached the heights as an under 20, and then he sort of got humbled, right? He got traded from Vancouver. He got left off the national team, and now he's back, maybe with a vengeance, and maybe playing attacking midfielder suits him a little better than striker. I don't know. Here's Arfield now with a free kick. He's going to send one in, back post to Hundle. Tried to get his second goal. And this game's just about over. 2 minutes of stoppage time is up. And there's the whistle. So there we go. Team Canada back on track with a 2-1 victory over Venezuela. Next game's going to be important because it's a European team, and we have not fared too well against European teams. You know, earlier in the year, Switzerland beat us pretty bad. So we don't have that going for us. Let's take a look at our schedule. We lost horribly to Sweden 7-3. I guess the Switzerland game was last year. Sweden beat us this year 7-3. That was no good. But we did draw Chile. And now Venezuela we beat. So now, you know, Ireland, not the greatest test you've ever seen. But they are a European team. They are pretty good. They're much more highly ranked than we are. So we can see what they got. So we're going to pause it here and get to Ireland. So, pause. Okay, we're back. And you know what? I am going to end the video here because I got some other stuff I need to talk about. And we got our Ireland scouting report here, so I need to take some time and look at that scouting report in full, and I'm going to take our time with Ireland and try to play them seriously because, they're a European, sort of team. And we got to try to beat them. And yeah, that's it. That's the bottom line. We got to beat a European side one of these times. So that's going to do it for this episode. We'll come back with a more in-depth look at Ireland and the under 20s because we got a lot of stuff to talk about with the under 20s. So until next time, we'll see you later. Bye.